Hey cuties, I'm Lanikia and you're watching What Happened on the Soaps. This is Days of Our Lives edition. Alright, today is Tuesday, May the 10th, 2022, and we're just going to jump right in. So, EJ and Chad are talking, and EJ just says, listen, I'm not going to hold y'all long because it wasn't much to this. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give it about a 7. EJ and Chad are talking, and EJ says, well, okay, I want to apologize because I blamed you for so much what was going on with Johnny and him loving you more than me and him liking you more when it turns out, it was me. I was just a bad person and everything. So he's on his apology tour. But anyways, he tells Chad, I want to be close to you. And I want to team up and get Gabby out of the Demera company. And, we do a takedown or whatever and we just be brothers and everything. Now, he says, so I can get Johnny to get my shares. And then it's obvious that the devil, when he was possessed with Johnny, he's the one that, framed me and everything. Now, Chad is drinking and drinking heavy because he know it was him and Kate. And they flash back to when he and Kate planted did the plot to blame it on, to blame the kidnapping on EJ. And so he was like, do you want to really bother Johnny with that right now? He was like, yeah, the sooner we get this started, the more resources we'll have and we'll be able to help the search for Sierra. So when that's going on, Chad calls Kate and he says, listen, EJ wants a fresh start. I want to do a fresh start, but I can't do it with him not knowing that I was in a part in him being framed for kidnapping. And she said, well, Sheila been told Thomas forever, keep your mouth shut. She said, don't you tell that information, sir. You have your fresh start without throwing other people in on it. You let it be blamed on the devil and keep it moving. So then so EJ comes back down and Chad is still drinking. And EJ says, Johnny gave me the shares, but he said he can't remember, the whole framing of me. He said, well, I'm not surprised because he was possessed by the devil at that time and everything. And so Chad is like, I have to tell you something. He says, you thinking, okay, Chad gonna tell the truth, but no, Chad just says, I want to be brothers again too, and let's get this going. And that was it with them, y'all. That was it. But speaking of Kate, so she's with Roman, and Roman says, he called Sean, and the ISA is saying they can't find Sammy and Lucas anywhere because they're trying to find Sammy and Lucas because their children have been possessed by the devil, and they said we can't find them anywhere. It's like they disappeared off the face of the earth, and Katie says, is it that serious? He said, yes. He said, remember the last time Sammy went missing, we thought, oh, it's just Sammy being Sammy, but she was actually kidnapped and her life was in danger that whole time. So Roman goes and he's like, I'm going to go get something to drink. And so that's when Kate got on the phone with Chad. So after she tells Chad, you keep your mouth shut, Roman comes back and she said, you about to drink coffee? And he was like, yeah, but it's decaf, but I'm going to go and go to bed. And she said, yes, go to bed. I'll take care of everything here. And he's like, okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and go up and go to bed. And because she told him I'll lock up, and he said, and you can go ahead and lock up, and I'll see you later. So they smooch, and she says, and she leaves Lucas a message because she remembers back on them setting it up, and she says, Lucas, I don't know what you undid, but now they can't find you while your children are possessed by the devil. Call me, and if I don't hear from you in 24 hours, I'm telling. And so that was it with Kate and them. Oh, Lord. So then we see that okay, so Seth goes over to see Kayla because he needs to reinstate her because Craig is gone. And so when he comes over or whatever, Steve reads Seth the riot. He reads Seth because he was like, how dare you be over here when you fired this amazing woman and you don't have brains and yada, yada, yada. I'm paraphrasing, y'all. But he said, I'm actually here to reinstate Kayla if she'll want it. And she was like, yeah, I'm gonna if she'll listen. And she was like, yeah, I'm gonna listen to you. But at that time, Steve gets a call from Julia because Julie is concerned because she learns how dangerous TR is, and she sent Abe over there. So she says, get over there to Abe's to Paulina's apartment. And he's like, okay. So he goes over. Anyway, Seth just tells Kayla that after Craig quit, they need somebody. And to be honest, the staff was never behind Craig anyways, because they loved her and they love Marlena too, because she says, well, I'll come back, but Marlena can't be let go. And he says fine. And he was like, I need you to start tonight. Y'all, I'm going through this fast, I know, but it wasn't much for them right here. And she was like, so then we see that she goes to the hospital and Julie is having a fit because she cannot get Eli back in the bed. So Kayla goes in and she said, get in the bed, sir. And so they inform Julie of everything that's going on. And she said, so that's the call that Steve went on to go to Paulina's. And she said, I haven't heard back from him. And then she gets a phone call, and the phone call is saying that there was somebody that suffered a blunt force trauma to the head, and they're bleeding, but they're in and out of consciousness, but so they need her to work on it. And she's like, they're like, who is it? Which one is it? And she says, I don't know, but as soon as I find out, I'm gonna let y'all know. And they were like, okay, cool. So Julie is just all upset because she said, I sent Steve over there, I sent Abe over there. Like, I did some bad things tonight, but she didn't know what she was doing. And Eli is just like, it's fine, but have y'all noticed that Eli's got a headache because she did get shot in the head by TR. So I know that there's going to be a problem. I hope they don't make him a drug addict or anything like that, because with the headaches, he's going to need to take some kind of pain medicine. Anyways, from there we go to. I'm sorry, I'm just making sure I covered all my bases. So from there we go to. Okay, so then we go to Paulina. Okay, so Ray is like, he about to handle up on Paulina, but right as he's about to hit her or whatever he gonna try to do to her, Lonnie comes in and she looks and she sees what he's doing to Paulina, and then she looks and see her daddy bleeding out on the floor, and she said, "You son of a shrew!" And then she shoots him. She ain't try to tell him, you know, stop, freeze, nothing. She just shoots him because the emotion came out of her. And Paulina said, "Oh my God, what have you done?" Paulina said, "What have you done?" And so then she was like, "Oh my God." She goes and she said, "If he killed my father," and then they hear Abe groaning and they say, "Oh, Abe's alive." So she goes back over to TR, and TR pops up and said, "He ain't dead." Okay, good. But then he says, "I love you. I love you." And she says, "How could you say that to me?" He says, "I love you. You're my daughter, and I forgive you." I said, excuse me. I said, "Sir, what are you talking about? Ain't nobody asking for your forgiveness. You need to be asking for forgiveness. All the stuff that you've done, sir, die. Just die." Anyways, so he ends up dying or whatever, and Paulina was like, "Oh my God, what have you done?" And so then Steve come over and he said, "What the hell happened here?" And Paulina said, "I shot him." And Lonnie is like, "What?" And she said, "Yeah, I shot him." And so Lonnie picks up, Paulina picks up the service weapon and everything, puts her prints all over it. Paulina don't even know how to use that gun, but she puts her prints all over the gun and everything. And they call the ambulance come, but it's not the police because they said the police taking longer because everybody doing their search for the baby. And so they get Abe and they take um TR, and everything. No, they don't take TR. He has to stay there. But they get Abe and they go to the hospital. And Lonnie says, "I'm gonna go." She wants to go, but so do Paulina. And Steve is like, "No, ma'am, you can't go nowhere. You killed this man." She's like, "Oh yeah, that's right." And so he says, the police fight. So everybody leaves. Abe, the paramedics, and Lonnie leave. And then the police come and they say, "What happened?" Steve asks again what happened, and Paulina said, "I shot him. I told you." And that's all I'm gonna say without a lawyer. So they all leave or whatever, right? So then we see that um, Abe goes to the hospital and Kayla is checking on him and he's in his right mind and everything. And she says, "Do you remember anything before and after you got attacked?" And he hears Paulina say, "What have you done?" So Abe knows that Lonnie, I believe, shot TR. And so then we see Eli. So Eli calls, Lonnie goes to Eli and he says, "Babe, what happened?" And she says, "My dad, was brought in." And he says, "Okay, but you have blood all over you." And he says, "What happened, Lonnie? What happened?" And she says, "Paulina said she shot him." Now notice she said Paulina didn't shoot. Paulina shot him. She said Paulina said she shot him. And Eli is a detective. He gonna figure this out. So I think so. Then we see Paulina getting her mug shot and everything because Paulina had told Lonnie, because Lonnie was like, "Paulina, why?" And she says, "Be quiet. I've been taking my care of myself for a long time, and I'll handle it." And so, but Paulina took a mug shot, talking right. Whoo, I said, Paulina, how you gonna jump taking a mug shot? Talking about whoo. How you gonna jump taking a mug shot, but then talk about I'll handle it? You're not handling it. But that was Days of Our Lives, guys. That was Days of Our Lives. What y'all think about Lucas and Sammy? Tell me what you think. I'll see y'all tomorrow for a new episode.